Well, it's another episode of Diamond Dialogue. Welcome, welcome. We have the wonderful Raphael, aka R_R in the chat, or DRB, depending upon musical happenings. So, how you doing,
Hey,
Raphael?
I'm good, and it's hot in the islands.
That's right. That's right. You live down in the South Pacific area.
Yeah, Philippines,
Philippines.
as the other people would call it. Yeah,
The other people. What other people?
not word weary people call it the
Okay.
Philippines. In America, it's like, eh, other countries, not America.
Oh, gotcha. Nice. Well, we'll jump right into the questions because it's always good to start off with who the hell are you and how did you get here?
Yeah, yeah. So I started uh, the journey of knowing Brian Brushwood from that podcast that is weekly and it involves tech. So this week in tech,
Right.
saw him. Well, looks great. Oh, he has a podcast. Oh, interesting. So I joined in an NSFW where the episode is the first appearance of Corey Coleman.
Right.
Hotel Rondo for dogs,
That was pretty
and
early.
yeah, and I was hooked. And that then is my handle is not actually RR. It's a different handle.
Hmm.
So after that, it's like just lurking and lurking until a certain moment in the NSFW that started creating the doc. I would note that Kyoritsu created the doc, and just one of those days that I asked, "Hey, can I access the doc? I need to add something," and he obliged, and then he made me somewhat a moderator for it, and it continued and it continued, and then NSFW died, and
I don't remember
then
that show.
created. Yeah, it's like a offshoot of Night Attack. It's like a long beta,
Oh, BB
long
Live
beta
show.
for. I didn't. Hmm, it didn't catch on that. That's too old school for me.
Right.
So yeah, so
Forecast.
that's
Sun bun.
right.
Oh, that's too funny. So yeah, you mostly came from where a lot of us did. Hatchman Brian on Twit, and Justin was on there all the time, and various shows actually on that network before everybody came to their senses. So that's pretty awesome. But
Yeah.
what are so you said you didn't used to go by that chat handle, but what are the origins of your RR chat handle now?
It's like, so the first chat handle that I have is Akumetsu something numbers. Then I just every time I type it, it's like, oh man, come on, it's like too long. So I look at some emoticons, Japanese emoticons, and so, this looks like great. So I put R_R, and it looks like if in the context of the Diamond Club symbol, because that's how I see the chat handles in my RC. Looks
Hmm.
like a face.
Right.
Looks great. I just use it. RR.
Oh, that's
So it
awesome.
looks like a condescending man looking, or a condescending icon. So
Yeah, and then during chat you'll also put D and B on the ends to give it headphones, which
headphones,
which I
yeah.
always laugh at. I think that's pretty awesome. So no, that's awesome. So I have a bit. Are you a movie buff? We have a movie question.
Sure.
Okay, so if you're stranded on a desert island, you have a magically working solar-operated DVD player and decent TV. Not an amazing TV, decent. And you get 3 movies though. That's all you get. And any other movies have all been destroyed in the Waterworld cataclysm. or something.
Right.
So what 3 movies do you pick to save to watch for all of eternity?
Maybe the Cornetto trilogy.
Sorry,
The Cornetto trilogy.
I'm
So
not
Hot
familiar.
Fuzz, what's this? Hot Fuzz, World's End, and
Oh, and Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead. Yeah,
Yeah,
those 3.
nice. What did you call it?
The Cornetto trilogy.
I'd never heard it called that.
Yeah.
Interesting. No, that's yeah. Sunbun just linked it in the chat there. It's got a Wikipedia thing, but no, I never heard that. But I love Sean Penn and what's the other actor that's always his friend?
Nick Frost.
Yes, thank you. No, I love those guys. They're hilarious. So
I
that's
could watch it forever.
a
Plus,
pretty
man,
solid
those-
pick.
Those layers of cinematography, sound of it. Wow. It's like
Well, plus, besides Hot Fuzz, you got the other 2. Well, even Hot Fuzz a little bit. You have a lot of apocalyptic theme to it, so it kind of
Yeah.
fits your desert
It's like-
island.
right. It fits my desert island and takes the mind of getting hungry or getting thirsty because, hey, they're they're much doomed than I am, right?
Right? Yeah, that's too funny. All right, so if you were given a superpower, well, what would it be, and what's the first thing you would do with it?
Yeah. So listening to this, the podcast that you have for other people.
That's cheating.
So they say teleportation, and what's this? The other one was time stoppage.
That's a good
I
one.
would like, yeah, or flying. So I would like controlling gravity. So it's
Ah.
like it's flying because you can control gravity.
Sure.
Control your gravity for yourself. Make your loads lighter. You can practice or make you buff even your standing because you can put much more gravity on yourself.
Yeah, basically increase
Exercise.
your mass.
Yeah.
That would be kind of like well, it's, at least in that aspect, Juggernaut, right? Is he the
Right.
one that?
Or no, actually it's in the Marvel, it's Graviton.
Oh yeah, no, they do have one that does control
Yeah, they
gravity.
do
I forgot
have
about
one.
that.
Yeah. Actually he's featured in what's this? Avengers that animated series, sorry. So many Avengers animated series. So yeah, it's one of them. So I think it's a great power. It takes all of the other powers that mentioned before, which is flight, and you can go anywhere because yeah, you have gravity on your side.
That's it. That's interesting. So I wouldn't. So you wouldn't be able to travel faster than light, though. You would need to
True.
warp space time to do
Because
that.
you need the body to withstand that pressure,
Right.
right?
Well,
Right.
or you do the thing that they're actually trying to kind of figure out right now, which is compress space in front of you and expand space behind you, and therefore you're really not moving, but you're kind of moving space around you, or like moving the area around you through space.
Around you, yeah.
Yeah, it's really weird, but because of that, you're not actually moving through space. You're moving space. you actually aren't subject to the laws of the speed of light. You can actually
Speed
go
of light,
faster.
that's right.
Because who cares? Speed of light's only for things traveling
Also,
through
you can
space time.
survive knowing your body because, yeah, the pressure of going speed of light or moving space around it, you must have titanium something.
Well, that's the thing with a space bubble is that you're not moving. There is no g forces. There's no none of, because space is moving around you, right? There is no relative motion at all.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
really weird to think about. I know.
Right, right. Just jump, go around and think about, yeah.
Yeah, watch like PBS Spacetime channel. It's on a YouTube. It's amazing
Ah,
and
okay.
mind bending.
Who's the host? Or who's.
I don't remember his name. They started out with one guy, and then now they have an Australian guy that's really good too. I mean, they're both like physicists basically that are teaching it, but it's like taking a class in astrophysics. It's it's just it's so much knowledge,
Wow.
and like he's not shy with formulas, and like they'll do the YouTube thing where he challenges the audience to submit things and all that stuff. So
Right.
it's interesting. It's really good to follow, and as much as I can understand it, because I'm not a professional physicist.
Astrophysicist.
Yeah, right. No, that's pretty cool. So, uh, speaking of all that, it brings up video games. What's your current video game of choice?
Yeah, for now I'm playing Hearthstone and Darkest Dungeon.
I haven't played. So let's talk about Darkest Dungeon first, because I haven't played that one yet.
Yeah.
What's that even about? Because I don't keep up on games as much as I should.
Yeah, it's a Kickstarter game last year, and it went on Kickstarter slash Steam Greenlight. So it was now released, I think 2 months ago. So it's a game, roguelike, but it has RPG elements on it. And basically, it's a story of you. You inherited this mansion that your ancestor gave through a will that you came back to there, but looking at it is in disarray, and you found out that it was run over by Eldritch horrors. So Cthulhu-esque monsters came out, and you basically clearing out all of the places that these Eldritch horrors run over. So you're clearing out the lower lobby of the mansion, the cove. I think it's part of the Cthulhu mythos too, and parts of it until you go to the darkest dungeon, and that's the hardest thing there because there's no progression. It's just one long boss fight in such a way that
Oh, so
all of
so the end game is
all the
infinite.
yeah, it's like it's infinite in such a way that you don't know what part of the dungeon are you. It just randomly creates one.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
So
it's like running Diablo dungeons or something.
yeah, it's like running the other dungeons, and you know where it's at. You see the map in the dark dungeon in the end game, and you see, hey, oh, so you finish one stage, it grows two paths, and you pick one path, and then it randomly creates it until it tells itself that hey, you're in the boss dungeon, and every time there's a new monster there that whips your ass,
Huh.
basically.
That's really
So
interesting.
yeah, and it's also have a mechanic for stress. So you're managing stress for your team. So after a certain level of stress, the character will have tics or problems. So sometimes it will be after 200 stress, it becomes catatonic or becomes delusional. So it
Oh,
affects
it's almost like a
the team.
stamina attribute.
Yeah, it's like a stamina gauge or just like yeah, sanity in one of I forgot the horror game that had that.
Huh.
So after 200, for example, there's catatonic. So every time he plays, he either it's a 50-50 chance that he acts on his turn, or sometimes it says something to the team, and the other people will be stressed too.
Huh. That's really interesting. That
Yeah.
sounds like a fun game. Is that on Steam?
Yes, it's in Steam. It I could not. Some people say it's not a fun game because it stresses you out too.
Well,
If you love
it's
your
supposed to be.
it's like stress manager the game. So you're the manager of this enterprise of putting people on dungeons, and you take care of them somewhat. Also, they can get diseases on the dungeons, and one of them are syphilis, rabies. Yeah.
That is too
So
funny.
yeah, you can get syphilis on dungeons.
Oh, that is hilarious. I'm searching for it on Steam right now. Darkest Dungeon. That's too funny.
Yeah, and the voice acting on that, man, superb, superb.
I will absolutely have to pick up that game.
Yeah.
But so you said you also play Hearthstone, which I
Yes.
play a little bit.
Right. How's how's your uh how's your feeling on the new expansion?
I'm really excited for it. It seems like they're taking a lot of themes that have been successful in the past, like Death Rattle, and making them really interesting and using them in interesting ways. Like they just recently announced N'Zoth, and he basically summons.
Yes.
I just relooked at the card before
It's like Kel'Thuzad.
we talked again. Yeah, he basically it's any Finn for Death Rattles. He'll summon back any number of Death Rattles that you've had. Because I read the card. It just says resummons your Death Rattle minions, and if it's more and it was clarified by Blizzard. If it's more than if you have more than 6 that have died, it'll be random. So it's basically just like anything can happen, but for Death
Right.
Rattles. It's so that'll be really cool.
Yeah, so leprenomes,
Yeah.
sheeps. I don't know, sheeps will be gone, right?
Yeah, sheeps will be gone because those are GVG.
Standard, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the mech stuff that was
Cairn,
Death Rattle will be gone.
right.
But you do still have Tyrion. He's classic.
Classic, yeah. Sylvanas.
Sylvanas. Oh, Stagon and Fule.
Right. Oh my god.
Oh, that would be so
So
interesting.
you can get what's the name of that last guy?
It's
That's
Fugit and Stalag. There we go.
yeah, no, the guy that comes up after they are
Oh,
killed.
Titan something or other.
Yeah, Titan guy. So that's interesting. Do they, if they are killed, and you summon that guy, and N'Zoth comes up, they summon Fugen and Stalag, and
They'll no. What
Huh,
will
it's-
happen is that when you summon them back, now each one has already died, so each one's death rattle is active. So now either one that dies will summon him. So you could end up with 2 more on the board.
yeah, 2 or more. You're right, right.
Yeah, you could end up with 3 total if you well.
Oh.
So you have them out, they die. You get the guy, or even if you don't get the guy, I forget his name. He's a 12-12. He's insane.
Yeah,
But even if you don't get him, if you just had the one die and then you draw the other one, and they do something to make it not happen, they silence it or whatever, you can bring them back, and then their death rattles will be active again because the other has already died. That'll
right.
be really interesting.
Interesting situation there. Also for rogues, that guy that if it's killed, it gives you a coin.
Yeah, he's what do we call him? A dark burglar.
Yeah. Dark Burglar. Sorry, Bliss. We don't know all your names.
I know. It's dark peddler, but burgle.
Yeah, more coins. Wow.
How much is burgle normally? Is it two mana?
5.
Burgle's
I think
5
5
mana.
Huh. No,
Let
I
me
think
look
it's
here.
5.
3.
3. All right.
It's 3 mana card. Add 2 random class cards to your hand from your opponent's class. So this is, and he's a 2 mana 2/2. So he's cheaper than
Yeah.
Burgle,
Cheap
and you get a body.
minion. Yeah.
And Burgle was, shoot, the card art looks like it was TGT actually.
Right. That's right.
Yeah, so he'll actually be around for a little bit. That sucks. So you're basically either you also use Burgle or you don't use Burgle. You know, you use
No, you
the
can
new card
use
instead.
that guy because you can have a body for something after that turn.
Yeah, exactly. And it's cheaper. So it's only 2 mana to get those 2 cards. Plus you have a 2/2 on the board. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, play
It's just
around
strictly
4
better.
mana, right? Yeah, 4 turn.
Oh, they just released another one. Brood of
What?
N'Zoth. Death. It's a 3 mana 2/2 Death Rattle. Give your minions +1/+1.
Hmm.
Now it just says give your minions +1. I wonder if that's minions that are alive or all minions.
Or minions, all the minions.
Right, because that's not something they're afraid to do. You know, with there's another one that does that. It gets +1, gives +1 to all minions in your hand. Although his card text specifically states that it's in your
Give you
hand.
all
and
your
deck.
minions. So in your hand and in your deck.
Yeah, this just says give your minions +1/+1. It's probably just the ones that are out
Oh, out. All right.
on your board. So it's good, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's usable, but it's not amazing or anything.
It's not a combo piece, or is it?
Right. Well, I mean, it'll be a piece. Well, and then plus, okay, so now you have that. It's got Death Rattle. Now it's another Death Rattle minion that you can run into something late game and automatically give your board
Right.
+1/+1.
Hmm.
When you're, when
This is
you
crazy.
pull them back out with N'Zoth.
I think that's why they're cutting off GVG cards because GVG cards has so many death rattles, right?
That would be so gross. Well, of course, Wild, there'll be Death Rattle decks because then you'll throw that with Baron Rivendare that doubles the Death Rattles.
Oh my god, yes.
Right.
Also,
and
what's this,
Kel'Thuzad.
the pirated shredder. It's that's why it's cut.
Yeah, so dude, I could build that deck already. Basically, this is Kel'Thuzad,
In
2
Wild.
Paladin Shredders, 2 Sledge
Right.
Belchers. It's N'Zoth, any of his minions that are in the new expansion. Yeah, it's this will be interesting. Wild is gonna get wild.
Wild.
Yeah,
And
I
wet.
like the idea of it.
Sometimes.
Yeah, well, and of course they're going to pay attention to things, and when something is out of standard, I have a feeling they'll be more inclined to nerf if that's the right thing. Because right now they need a really good reason to nerf a card. You know, they don't like to do it. But I think
Yeah.
with Wild they'll be a little bit more liberal with that.
Right. So classic cards then.
Well, and yeah, they're definitely going to nerf classic and basic stuff.
Especially that guy that hunts.
Well, what the hunter?
Kills.
Or the druid?
No. The guy that I got that piece of my sights.
Oh, yeah. Why can't I think Big Game Hunter? Thank you.
They're talking about nerfing that guy.
Yeah, that Force of Nature
Because-
I think is the one that needs to be nerfed because that's 3 mana. That's cheap. Yeah, because that's 3 mana +2 to all your minions, whereas Bloodlust is 5 for +3, and nobody plays Bloodlust. And
Because Khatun
everybody-
is very, very variable in attack and could kill him in one go. But first, it's a battle cry and it will kill you first.
Right. Yeah, because Cthulhu will be crazy for that. Well, and if you have nothing out on the board, and you get him up to 20, which is not that hard, and like that's
That's
pretty
Hurt
crazy,
City.
too.
Yeah. Now we're in Hearthstone talk. with
Right.
Tinvek and RR.
Well, that's awesome. Well, yeah. Well, actually, we'll move on to the next and final question. Actually, if you could move to any planet, what would it be, and what would you live in? What would your house look like?
Uh, it's either I go to Mars in the Gundam universe. So Gundam, every else except what's this Neptune is colonized. So a colonized Mars will be awesome to live on.
Yeah, Mars would be cool. So what they have basically like Earth-like houses there?
Yeah, so it became an agricultural planet for
Oh, okay.
them.
So they did end up being able
Uh,
to terraform it.
Terraform it, but it's lesser gravity, so less work for them, for the people them, for carrying out agricultural processes there.
Oh,
So
sure. And I bet
lifting
plants grow bigger.
boxes, yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
that's really interesting. I've never really gotten. I've never been a huge anime fan. Not that I'm against it, just never really was my thing. But Gundam always sounded really interesting. I just never did get into it.
Yeah, so some of the ideas there is they terraform it in part because Earth is so much polluted, and they first create what's this space stations. And the space stations they move out, then they went to Mars and Moon. Yeah, first they create a moon base out of the moon. Then they move out to Mars. They terraform it. Then they went to Jupiter, and Jupiter had problems because some of the gas. So they have a station there, and so on and so forth.
Oh, a space station rather than obviously living on Jupiter because it's not really possible.
Possible because the gas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that sounds really interesting.
Right.
Well, you know,
Actually, the
thanks-
last. Yeah, actually, the last Gundam that's playing now in YouTube is Iron Blooded Orphans, and it explores that too. So it's a terraform Mars, and yeah, you can see how it works on that universe.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. Well, thanks again for joining me, Raphael. It's been great to have you. You got
Cool.
anything to plug? What you got
Yeah,
going on?
yeah, so much going on. So I have a podcast with Curtis. So it's Headphone Alliance podcast. It's in the website headphonealliance.com.
It's with Curtis
then-
the Rock.
Yeah, and rotating
Awesome.
guests. Now the last recording that we have is with Waffleopagus. So we reviewed Mute Matt's first album, Mute Matt, and we had a great talk with Matt.
No, that's really cool. That's great to
And-
hear.
Right. So Twitter, I'm in Night Attack Pics, that account that sometimes harasses Brian and Justin.
As needs be.
Right. As if they needed it for all the shit they have.
Right.
My personal, but that's not really used well. It's Musically Drunk at Musically Drunk. So I think that's it.
Awesome. Well, yeah, thanks again for joining me. And to everybody else that's listening, you can catch more of these weird interviews over at tinvec.com/dd. There's links there to catch other stuff, other videos, as well as subscribing on RSS and iTunes. So thanks for joining me.
Bye.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.